So you've now downloaded our SMF application pack, and hopefully those documents are going to be really helpful for you on your journey to apply for authorization with the FCA. Your starting point should be the statement of responsibilities. That's the first thing to complete, because that will set out obviously what you are responsible for within your firm. And remember, this needs to be a self-contained document setting out all of the areas that you're responsible for. There's no right or wrong answer. People often come to me and ask, okay, what should be in a CEO's statement of responsibilities or a compliance director's? And the answer is it's always different. So it is just what you are responsible for, the areas that you oversee within your business. Okay, are you the ultimate decision maker in what areas? That goes into your statement. But that's the starting point, because then off each of those areas, the FCA will look to see whether you are demonstrating competence in the skills and knowledge that you need to complete those areas of responsibility. Okay. And that's where your fit and proper assessment comes in. So the fit and proper assessment needs to cover three main areas. The first is honesty, integrity, and reputation. If you saw our kind of pre-download video, you'll see in there that I explained the fact that as part of the recruitment of the senior individual, the recruiting firm has to get or ask for a regulatory reference from any organization that they've worked with that's FCA or PRA regulated in the last 6 years. The responding firm with a regulatory reference has to include details of any disciplinary action because of a breach of the conduct rules, which resulted in a formal written warning or more serious sanction. They have to include any finding the person wasn't fit and proper and any upheld complaints about the individual. So it's a good source of information for competence issues, but also integrity issues. So that feeds nicely into your first part of your fit and proper assessment. As I say, that's honesty, integrity, and reputation. You also will undertake criminal record check. Again, that of course is a useful source of information as to whether there could be integrity issues. You might also check the FCA's register and have they had problems with this individual in the past, in the PRA and any other regulator as well. So you look at that. You might also undertake a media check and complete that first section of your fit and proper assessment. You then complete the competence and capability section of it. That's covered by Fit 2.2, which guides what should be looked at there. Now, in the competence and capability section, you want to be guided firstly by the statement of responsibilities, because that's what they're going to be responsible for. So you start by listing the areas of responsibility, and then you break those down into the competencies you would expect the person to have to meet each of those areas of responsibility. And then what evidence have you seen in their recruitment that tells you that they are competent in that particular area, whether that's training records, experience from their CV, or the way they answered their interview? Or is there a gap? Because it's fine to have a few gaps. In fact, it's a good thing to have a few gaps, because it's unrealistic that the perfect person applies with all the skills and competence that you could possibly need. There's going to be a few areas where there's a little bit of a gap. So that's okay to have that. It's more about then how you deal with it. And then you have financial soundness as the last part of that fit and proper assessment, where you might be undertaking credit checks or looking at their history of managing businesses or department budgets. But the one thing I do want to call out in this video is the fact that what happens if you get something negative in their regulatory reference or in the criminal record. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't pass their fit and proper assessment, or they should be seen as having a lack of honesty, integrity. Instead, you can look at several factors, whether that's time since the issue occurred, mitigation around or mitigating circumstances, or rehabilitation, and of course the seriousness of the issue at hand. So if it's a criminal record, the seriousness of the offence, and whether it's related to their job roles, or if it's financial fraud, that's obviously not great. But if it was something relatively minor, like a kind of a fray offence or something along those lines, that is not directly related to their job role, so you would be more likely to accept that it doesn't mean that they are dishonest for for working for your organization. So you do have a level of flexibility there based around those factors that I've mentioned. And those factors are actually called out by the FCA, and there's guidance within that fifth section of the FCA handbook to that effect, worth policying that though, so you can demonstrate objectivity in your decision-making standards. So you complete that fit and proper assessment. Like I say, there may well be gaps. So that's where your skills gap analysis comes in, another one of our templates. So you feed any gaps into the skills gap analysis, simply points them out, and then you've got a training plan which sets out what you're going to do about those gaps. So whether you're going to put them onto a training course, whether you're going to use some of our e-learning, for example, or reach out to us, or whether you're going to mitigate the gap in other ways, such as consultancy support is one, but many other ways as well, to plug the gap while they build the knowledge in a certain area. So either way is fine. It's just explaining to the FCA how you are going to plug that gap in the meantime. So that's your training plan. And then you package all of that together, and then that gets added to Connect on Form A and submitted to the regulator. They are looking at these applications in great detail now compared to what they're used to it in particular. So they are likely to come back with a number of information requests, particularly if the individual has several senior manager roles in several firms. They'll be very interested in how they split their time and how they will make sure that they pay enough attention and give it enough time for your firm and the role that they're applying for now. So that's just something to be aware of when you complete the application, and do give enough detailing and a good level of detail in your completion of the documents, because like I say, they are likely to come back with some information requests. So the better you fill those documents in, the more detailed you are, the fewer requests you'll have. Any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll happily guide you through the process.